Hey, everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of The Creators Outlet with our special guest tonight, Fusebox.
What is
Now,
going
first,
on?
where'd you get that nickname?
It comes from my last name. My last name is Fuselier.
Oh, yeah, I might have a little trouble pronouncing that.
Exactly.
Like, if I just saw it written down, I'm like, oh, fossil, Mufasa, something like that. So, tell us how you got into the comics end, because you've done film and voice acting and all kinds of stuff. You got a lot of hats to wear.
Well, I took sort of a hiatus from all that about 4 years ago, if I'm counting right. Time keeps blending together for me. But basically I was in a state of like just sheer confusion about the movie The Last Jedi. It just had me. I didn't understand why people loved this movie so much. And so I started checking out YouTube videos, and I picked up on some of the original CGers, and I was really liking their content, and they were describing, launching books and doing it independently, and I really liked the sound of that. I liked the idea of grassroots movements. And so I just decided, I'm a writer. I would like to write a comic. And then I ended up like I was brainstorming for a while. I was like, well, what am I going to write, And I couldn't think of anything new at the time. And then it dawned on me that I've had a story that I've just been playing around with for almost 20 years. And so it got to a point where I just decided, why don't I see if I can adapt this into a comic idea? And when I did, it turned out to be much better than when I had originally planned it as like a screenplay and stuff. It works much better as in the comic book medium. And everything just really clicked into place for me.
Well, it's more cost effective, shall we say, to make a
Yes,
comic book or a graphic novel than it is an actual film. So,
absolutely.
which you well know. So, the big thing is nowadays it's fairly easy to make your own comic
Yeah.
once you get the funding in place. Like anyone can make a comic.
Oh
However,
yeah.
not everybody should make a comic.
Yeah.
It's one of it, it's one of those things. But there are an amazing amount of indie talent out there that are putting out like some really great stuff.
Oh, definitely.
And like uh, back in the 80s and 90s, most of the big names in the mainstream industry have all left and gone, either full blown indie or to groups like CG, and uh, they're thriving. Like EBS with like $1 million
Oh
Cyberfrog
yeah.
campaign, action figures, all kinds of stuff, uh, and you know, to say nothing of the Rippaverse with Eric July.
Oh yeah.
They were at him and his crew were at San Diego Comic Con, uh,
Hmm.
and they weren't staying for the Sunday. They did like the setup day on Thursday, and then they did Friday Saturday, and they had a couple of panels for indie comics, and one of his people set up. I saw it pop up like yesterday that they have already sold 29,000 copies of issue 2 of Isom.
Damn.
And some of those are donated books. He's got a thing going on with Comics for Kids, which is a nonprofit that gets age-appropriate comic books, like all ages kind of stuff, to kids in various children's hospitals and after school programs and stuff like that. So half of that, so almost 15,000 books have been donated.
Damn.
For kids. So that's like huge, because I've worked with other friends of mine that do it for the vets. They'll take donations and they'll go out and they'll buy wholesale, like a whole bunch of books from, say, like Mile High or something. And they'll get addresses and stuff for active duty and, retired vets. And they'll just like mail them out stuff, because who doesn't like getting something in the mail that's not a bill?
Yes.
So, and it was, I always got behind it. I'm like, well, if somebody's going to do something for the vets, I know it's not going to be the government. So.
Lordy, lordy.
Oh, yes. Have mercy. There's the look of exhaustion on your face.
Yes. I have been promoting this campaign like crazy, because this is like my third attempt at launching this thing. And I don't know why it doesn't catch on. Because it's damn good art. It's a damn good story. And my big thing is, like, if this campaign fails, I'm going to relaunch issue 1 as just kind of a store, because I don't really need to raise much of anything to redistribute issue 1. And I figure I'll try to raise the money that way to complete issue 2. Because the story is too good. It's too good.
Now you've been, like you said, you've been working on this for like 20 years. So this has been like a long time coming. And you're like, well, now it's going on 25 years. I want to see this thing come out somewhere and people to be able to enjoy the story.
Yes, indeed.
So I noticed you're out of New Orleans.
Yep.
I just so happen to have a very good friend of mine who's an artist. He's a cover artist, a pinup artist, right down in your neck of the woods.
Oh, really?
And I do a stream with him every Monday night. His screen name is Sean Ziller. It's Sean Howe, and his studio is Zero Dark 30.
Okay. I think I've heard of him, actually.
He is, to put it bluntly, a convention whore.
Yeah.
He was doing a lot of regular shows like down in that area. Last weekend, he did the convention out in Arkansas. One of his daughters, Trinity, is following in his footsteps and is an amazing artist as well. Does more like kind of like anime style stuff, kind of like my daughter. I have no artistic bones in my body, so she got them also. At least something went right. Yeah, he's done like a lot of. He's not doing any for like a long time, but he had for a regular amount of time, like the better part of a year. He'd been doing like all these shows at Black Lodge down there in Tennessee, and but then he just became the house artist. And after you see the same people at the same show like every week for a year, you're like, yeah. Look for something else. But he's got like 7 or 8 more like big shows down in that area, and I wasn't sure there's a show in Dayton, Ohio this weekend, and I wasn't sure what he did that show last year. I'm not sure if he was able to get down there this year, but
Hell
usually
yeah.
he does like freelance stuff, so he's always cranking new stuff out. Um, and he's a regular cover artist now for Alton that does Vampires in New Jersey and like two other tied in titles. He's done multiple covers for other people, and Chuck Bonneau, who's an editor, has his own book called Belial, and they just approached Sean like last week to do a cover for them too.
Nice.
So he's a good company. He usually ends up on projects that Steph Wilson is also doing a cover on. So pitch us the book. Why we need to buy this.
Well, Outlaw Knights, this is issue 2, although we are offering issue 1 on this campaign, but this is the beginning of the Outlaw Knights saga, which is hopefully going to be about 8 to 10 issues. And this takes place in the 31st century. Humanity has begun colonizing into outer space, and history is very much repeating itself as it's like the discovery of the New World 2.0. The nations of Earth are all at each other's throats, competing heavily for territory and resources. And keep in mind, I wrote this before certain current events, but I basically said that this story takes place 10 years in the wake of World War III, because I was very generous. I was very generous with that estimate. Didn't realize it could happen sooner. But, basically, in this time period, we've got a boom in piracy and in crime because the inland Earth is so far detached from the colonies, which are basically in what is called the Outlands, which is the vast reaches of space. This has led to a lot, their control being stretched thin. So we've got a big old boom of crime. And in the midst of all this, we got our main character, Cyrus Lawson, who's a young guy, had a pretty rough go of it growing up, and he is settled on a small, out-of-the-way colony called Therese. And he's gone there to join the colony guard and just kind of live life as sort of like a small-town cop, if you will. He's not expecting a lot of trouble. But right from the get-go, in issue 1, that dream is ripped right from under him because the pirates of the ship Hazard invade his settlement looking for a special piece of data, and this data is going to lead to a treasure everybody and their mother has their eyes on. It's a rat race in the making, and without giving issue 1 away, our boy is kidnapped by these pirates. So he's got to learn how to survive in the pirate's life and overcome his very, very rigid sense of right and wrong, because not everything's quite as simple as he thought it was.
Everything is complicated.
It's very much a coming of age, fall from grace kind of story.
And we're going to take a look at the trailer now.
Yes, indeed.
So who did the trailer?
That was done by Verse Films, which is a company owned by the team who did Skits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're great folks, and yeah, they put that together for me because I've got editing skills, but not great ones. Like I can't do camera movements and such on like still images.
Hmm.
So I needed them to help me out.
Yeah, I'm like I can't even make a video with the mobile app there, CapCut. Everybody's like, why can't you? It's real easy. I go, because I'm complicated. I went I went to college for radio, television, and video production, and
Yay!
I learned how to edit on 3 3/4 inch tape, like studio stuff. We had to one of our finals was to make like a fake commercial. So I did a fake commercial for a fake flood insurance company, and in between my talent reading their lines, like on camera, where we had like projections of storms in black and white, I took cut scenes from the Captain Marvel cereal from Republic, where there was a crashed like tanker, and he was like saving everybody off the ship with ropes, pulleys, and baskets, and they're like, "How'd you know where to get that stuff?" I go, "Well, if it's a comic book, I have it on my movie rack." So, and then I did like small like local access cable stuff and like interview shows like this, but like with bands back in the day, because something about drunk girls, I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's been my motivation for most of my adult life.
Hmm. I got very ill back in 2016, and I died on the operating table, and they had to put me into a medical coma that I was in for way too long. So now I'm in a wheelchair. But
Mm.
prior to that, for almost 30 years, I was a strip club DJ for like 30 years. I did nightclubs and stuff too, but
Hell yeah.
something about naked women giving me money. That that was my tagline. All my friends would brag about like their new big jobs that they just got and promotions. So what are you doing? I go, naked bitch, you give me money. What? And one of my best friends would be like, he's still DJing at strip clubs. Oh, dude, when are you gonna stop that? I go, when I'm dead. And it just so happened that I died. So, but it was just a scratch. I'm fine now.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I'm still here. So this looks nice, kind of reptilian alien. Uh, on the subject I was just talking about, boobies. Uh,
Yes.
and the biggest Gatling gun on a page that I think I've ever seen.
I love me Gatling guns. So I had to. Yeah, that character is Code, and she's a no-nonsense pirate who will pull a knife on you if you look at her funny.
Okay, I'm gonna just tie a bandana around my eyes and not look at anything right now. Then, and is this piece of print, or is this one of the covers?
That is the cover of issue 2, and it was done by Jay Krager.
Oh, nice. I like the whole cyborg aspect. of him with the
That is
lightning
our villain
coming off.
for issue 2.
As well, he should be. He doesn't look like a nice guy. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, like that. I had them do like several art pages just to like I was gonna choose a cover based on just what I liked, and when I saw that one, I was like, yes, I need that psychotic look.
Shots and shooting.
I mean, that's the name of the game. It's pirates in the future. You gotta have guns. You gotta have booze.
Mm-hmm. A different kind of rum.
Yeah, that was our issue 1 cover.
Somebody is well stocked with the alcohol.
Oh yeah, especially since our captain, who's the large head in the middle there,
Mm-hmm.
his name is Ivory, and he is a raging alcoholic. He can pilot the ship himself, but he never does because he's always drunk.
In space, there's no telephone poles to hit. just planets and asteroids.
Yeah, that's one of the interior pages from issue 1. I put a few of those up there. Friggin' love them all.
I see a little homage to Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek there.
Yes. That was my artist's choice, not mine. I let him do it.
And the computer obviously likes her.
That is a computer virus.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's going to be
Yes.
entertaining.
That's why it's so happy and cheeky.
Now, does she just walk around 24/7 holding that gun?
No, she mainly shows up at one part of issue 1 with the Gatling gun. But it's iconic to me.
Yeah, the Gatling gun is iconic in cinema for sure. From the early westerns with the hand crank one to movies like Commando and anything cool. Matter of fact, there's a Gatling gun that is prominent in another crowdfunder going on over at Fund My Comic. Codename Ariel the Merkmaid.
Yep. I know it well.
Ah, our lovely raging alcoholic.
He's my favorite.
So, what's the story with his eye?
Well, there's a backstory there that I don't really get into in the main series because basically I was hoping to build outward from this particular saga. I was hoping to do like some other stories in the Outlaw Knights universe, and one of them is going to be a backstory for Ivory, but we don't really get too much into that in the main plot here. The biggest
Story
thing
for
about
another day.
the biggest thing about his eye is just that it allows him to, he can scan people, find out where they're hiding weapons on their person. It's got all kinds of neat applications, mainly for recon and plotting things out.
And for being a terrible human being out in space.
Yeah, that was when Cyrus was confronting the pirates in issue 1. Heroic, but a little too foolhardy.
Yeah, when you go running in at somebody and they've already basically have a shotgun in their hand, you're not surprised by the big giant cutout of Blam at the bottom of the page.
And that's Kodiak, our away team leader, who
Nice.
is, I would say of all the crew members, he is the slowest one to earn trust with, but he has very good reasons for why he's wary. We're gonna learn more about him as the issues roll out.
Nice. I'm digging the art in this though. It's kind of like a throwback to like early image.
Oh
Like
yeah,
the layout, the way the layouts are on the panels.
yeah. I love the '90s vibe.
Yeah, it's like we've got words in there, but
Well,
you can flip
it's
through
like,
it and get the gist, and then you can go back and read it and find out what really happened.
oh well, yeah. And plus, I mean, like the way I used to write when I was younger, and I was like, I wasn't really trained. I would put so much information right off the bat, and it was just too much. And so, like, when I was writing this, I wanted to do the. I was taking advice in that it's like doing more of the show, don't tell. It's like
Hmm.
have people learn on their own from the visuals and from just little bits of dialogue.
Let the art tell the story, and you just have a little clarification because too much exposition is not a good thing.
Yes.
That's made for prose novels where there's no visuals except on the cover. I used to get
I
so
actually
disappointed.
I actually
Um,
tried to write this as a novel, and I got about 10 pages in, and I was so sick of writing books.
and all the line art is officially done for issue 2.
Yes. I just need to get the colors and the lettering.
Oh, nice. Uh, I know it's been very popular with other crowdfunding campaigns. Is like just like a black and white version of the actual book.
Yeah, I mean, I see the appeal of that. It's just I feel like with this specific art style, I need to have some vibrant colors.
Yeah, it all depends on the book too. Uh, some of that is some of the popularity of that is just for the artist that worked on the book or the creator that happens to be their own artist that worked on the book, and people just want like them so much they want to they want to take a look at like their process basically. So they
Yeah.
want to be able to look at the line art to see where it comes from. That's why a lot of the Marvel and DC put out those 500 plus page black and white on newspaper, and it would collect. It collected like thousands of issues, but they were only like 12, $15 a piece, so they were cheap. And a lot of artists are buying that because they can't see the line art of all these great artists that have you know been dropping like flies as of recent, and want to see how they structured stuff before uh, the, the inker and the colorist got to it and either made it jump off the page or not in some cases.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be very well balanced.
Oh yeah, and especially since like because of the title Outlaw Nights, I like having a lot of shadow and a lot of darkness.
A little sci-fi horror
Yeah,
taste
just
in
a
this.
yeah, a little
Just a
different edge
twinge, yeah.
from yeah, just something that differentiates it from other sci-fis that you've seen before.
The normal standard of which is just a bunch of people on a ship aimlessly wandering around the galaxy trying to put food on the table and pulling jobs.
Pretty much. But yeah, but the treasure they're after, see, I'm not specifying what it is because I want people to find out from the book, but it's a game changer for a lot of people.
Treasure. Arr! I had to do it. It's a pirate book.
I did my best to avoid pirate cliches.
So, who are these characters specifically?
Well, the fella on the left there is our main character, Cyrus.
Okay.
And in the center, we've got Kodiak, who is the away team leader of Hazard. And next to him is Serpent, who is the quartermaster of the ship and basically the second in command. And he is the ship's resident con artist. He specializes in acting, and he knows how to slip in and BS his way through any situation. And then next to him, we got Bit, who is pretty much, I would say, the newest member of the team, and he works mainly in hacking and computers, and they don't really quite trust him just yet.
I don't know why you wouldn't trust a hacker. The con artist, you just basically described Faceman in space from the A-Team. So
I didn't watch it.
you didn't watch the A-Team
No,
as a kid? Oh wow.
I'm 33.
Oh yeah. Never mind. It's available to watch for free on Tubi and Roku. There she is again.
Yeah, because
Angry and shooting.
well, I got some. The ones that are doubled up there. It's because that particular part of the campaign shows you the posters
Okay.
that are available.
And what size are the posters?
God, I want to say they're about yay big. Can you see me at all?
There
Yeah,
we go.
I'm gonna say they're about yay big, not like huge.
Oh, so
but
more like mini prints then, right?
yeah,
Do they fit in with the book or
no,
separate? Okay. So they're larger than A4 size.
yes. As you could tell from my totally professional estimation there.
And I already knew it just from the image. I'm like, that's a 6 a.m. sticker.
Yep. My main stretch goal right now is that if we can hit 5K, I'm gonna throw in some chibi stickers made from 6 a.m. and from Selena Hernandez.
Oh, nice. I like the background in this.
Yeah, that is a station they're visiting in issue 2. It's not a savory place.
This is just a cool image.
Oh yeah. Wellington has the best images.
Someone just has to give that guy a sandwich, because man. Says the fat guy in a wheelchair. And when I was scrolling through earlier, I came across this, and it reminded me of the. I'm going to keep going back to Star Trek. I'm sorry.
No worries.
The first J.J. Abrams movie, where we had young
God.
Spock and old Spock, and old Spock flew his ship in, and it had the Vulcan ship, and it had the special engine for the red matter, and had like this ring going around it. So it made me think of that, like something between that and Obi-Wan and Anakin ships that had like see the ring around the ship was basically like a rocket booster module. So
Well, in this case, that is a security checkpoint that a ship is flying through.
oh, okay. And it seems to be an armed security checkpoint.
Yes.
Besides the two guys, there looks to
Well,
be some kind of weaponry on the ring. So
there's some artistic license going on here.
yeah, well, that's always good. Now I want to jump and inspect the. Oh, this is still going on. It's you've got resting Ricky Gervais face from when he did that last award show there. So $10 you can get Outlaw Nights digital.
Yep.
$10 a piece for 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I like to call that the Australian tier.
I'll tell you, like my perks are very straightforward. I don't add a hell of a lot of extras.
Because when push comes to shove, it's a comic book, and you want people to read the comic book.
That and the fact that I just thought way a few years back, I just noticed so many comic campaigns, they just kept adding more stuff onto it. It's yeah, that's really cool, but isn't that gonna screw with your delivery time? Because it's you got more things to juggle. And
I backed Global Frequency's first book called Mavericks that came out the other year.
I remember that.
And I sold the entire first run of the first Jane Foster Thor, Lady Thor there, to a buddy of mine. I go, if you're interested in this, because I read it, I don't care about it, and I need some money. So I sold that, and in turn, I backed the collector's box and the merch tier box. So the only stuff I didn't get was stuff on the Kickstarter. I backed the Indiegogo, and I didn't have any money left over after that for anything else. And there was only one thing on the Kickstarter campaign that I did want to get, which they had this really badass cosplayer posing and dressing up as the main character in that book. But yeah, they underestimated the weight. So they were going to send everything in one box, and then realized they can't send everything in one box because just the main collector's box weighed in just a smidge over 15 pounds.
Oh God.
So the merch tier was, much better because it was fairly light. Well, definitely light compared to the other one. But there's 30 prints. Some of them were exclusive to streams. Like a dozen copies of the books. And all the tchotchkes, which were not 3D printed, but double-sided figures. So it's the same figure mirrored on both sides, but they came with stands so you could set up a battle scene if you wanted. Now, physical. $20 for Outlaw Nights 1, and the same price for Outlaw Nights 2. Or...
And we got, yep.
The limited 2-for-1 special. So $20 for both issues.
Yes, because I had 30 extra copies of issue 1. Because I overestimated my order for my last campaign, so I ended up with 30 extras. So I decided to offer them as part of this limited edition tier, give you more bang for your buck.
So they were limited to 30. 7 people have backed that tier so far. So
Yep.
23 more people have a chance to get a 2-for-1.
You're gonna want that.
It's like FMC on Groupon.
Amen.
$30 Outlaw Knights issue 1 plus the poster, and you get the drop down, so you get to select everything.
Yes, indeed.
And same thing. So if you don't want to go for the $20 because you feel like you should be supporting the project more, you can buy these 2 tiers, so you can get 2 different posters and both issues, and then you will just be scrolling back and forth for about an hour trying to figure out which posters you want. $50 plus shipping, both physical and a poster. So you can save $10, but in turn you lose a poster.
Look, sacrifices have to be made.
Oh, who are you, Joe Biden? No, you haven't fallen down yet, so no, it can't be you. Outlaw Knights issue 2 Overseas Special.
Yes, this is for the overseas folks who I remember a while back I was seeing how like you'd get like several people going in on one tier together. And so I decided to do one especially for them, getting 8 issues sent to one location so that people don't have to get, bogged down by the shipping.
Oh, I get it. This is like a retailer tier without it being a retailer tier.
Yes, we do have a retailer tier also.
So we have the 140, which is 8 issues, and then for 200, you get oh, I get it. So this one will give you 8 issues, and then the $200 one, you get 10 or 15.
Yes.
Oh, wait, no. See, I'm not. I should be reading the actual print. Right? Such a schmuck I am. So the $200 one gets you copies of the issue, multiple copies of issue 1 and 2.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense to me now.
But Pops was suggesting I'm probably going to knock that price down some.
Yeah, you're red blind it, put it on sale. And Outlaw Knights issue 1 cover poster, issue 2 cover poster, Hero Shot poster, Battle poster, and Lady Pirate poster.
Yes, and that tier will get you drawn in to issue 2.
Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. I know a lot of people that love getting drawn into comics.
Oh, yeah.
But usually only if they can get killed in the comic. I'm sure with lots of pirates, a stray shot could take out somebody.
Well, you're guaranteed to be a pirate because you'll be drawn in at the port they're going to.
Oh, cool.
And that's nothing but criminals at that spaceport.
A wretched hive of scum and villainy, so they say.
Absolutely.
So yeah, there's. I had Carissa Grant on with her crowdfunder last week, and she had so many combination tiers that I felt like I was scrolling from my birth year at the doctor's. I was like, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" you're keeping it simple, like the international ones, and
Pretty much, yeah. It's for the customer and it's for me to make sure that I can get it out in a timely manner.
yeah. But that's a good idea. Just multiple ship to one location. Everybody can pick it up from their friends and
Absolutely.
pass it along.
Because yeah, issue one, we had a good number of overseas backers, and I just I want to give them, as much of a deal as I possibly can.
And still not eat it on the shipping.
Exactly.
So you've got a 4K goal. You've already got 10 people in, so you got 350 raised so far. So we need to get it the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a spare $3,700, you can just toss it my way, and that'll be fine.
I've been living off of $800 a month for like the last 6 years. So yes, a month, not a week, a month. That was my culture shock, going from what I used to make when I was working the clubs to, yeah, this is over giving you. Good luck. Oh, thanks.
Oh God. Lordy, lordy.
Yep. Lord have mercy. Mercy, mercy, mercy. So I just wanted to. So you got somebody that grabbed the digital one of each of the digital copies. 7 people for like the 2-in-1.
Oh yeah, I knew that was going to be the hot seller.
Yeah, it's like, don't you just love a bargain?
I love bargains, hell.
Where I used to work, one of the clubs I used to work at, the old men would wait around till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the club offered 2-for-1 dances. What they didn't realize is you're getting a dance from a girl with actually less time than if you just bought one.
Oh damn.
I used to quick mix like old Motown songs that were on average around 2.5 minutes long. And I can't tell you how many times, hey, I'm going in. Could you either play Stairway to Heaven or even better yet, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida? I'm like, no. That's not happening. So you're looking at the main story going about 8 to 10 issues.
Yes.
And then at the same time, you're also working on world building.
Oh yeah. And I'm also slowly but surely I'm working on a fantasy series.
Ooh, Knights and Dragons and stuff.
More like Roman period stuff with magic stuff thrown in there.
So the D&D people can relate.
Yes.
Ooh, there's a wizard.
Very much so.
As long as nobody goes through and like whites out the wizard's actual name and just writes Merlin everywhere. So do you have anything else coming up as far as stream appearances?
I'm gonna be on Narwhal's stream this week coming up, and I believe I'm also gonna be on Joe Sontag's show.
Oh, nice.
So I'm hoping to God that we can pull off a miracle. Cause yeah, like this campaign has probably been my slowest one yet, and that's got me a little nervous. So that's why I'm already kind of planning contingencies just in case.
Yeah, I know one. I know a couple of the guys that are on the FMC platform. Instead of putting it in for limited amount of time, like 30 to 60 days,
They they do unlimited.
they do unlimited, and once they hit it, they just go right to print and start shipping them out. Uh, I know Sam Quinton over at Sinopa will order all his books for his usually around 5,000 copies of each cover,
Nice.
and so there'll be pallets of comics in his house. And once it goes in demand, if somebody puts in an order that day and he happens to be streaming, he'll just package it up and send it out like right there on camera.
Oh, hell
Without
yeah.
without the doxing.
Well, I've got our boy RJ
Yep.
handling fulfillment for this time around. I handled the issue one's fulfillment, and that went pretty well. Like, I don't think I had really any problems, but I like having a professional on hand.
Or RJ even. That's right. I'm gonna clip that one, send it to him. So I mean, everything looks pretty cool with this. If anybody's into like sci-fi, not necessarily Star Trek or Star Wars. And Sean and I were talking about the whole Star Wars movie crap, uh, like the last three pieces of garbage.
Yeah.
I think those were he surmised that those were done so we would forget how bad the prequels were.
Well, they did make the prequels look great.
It's it's because he was still in control of the company then.
I mean, the prequels are not what I would call masterpieces in cinema, but they look fantastic compared to the sequels.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, a 2 hour NASCAR in space movie, uh, and all this other stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm, I will only acknowledge the prequel to New Hope
Yeah.
for the making of the Death Star, and that's only because the last 5 minutes of that movie uh, got edited perfectly into the beginning of New Hope to add like an extra like 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, like that was the thing about that movie was I literally the only part of that movie that I really enjoyed was Vader. And that was
Hmm.
like one sequence. And that was pretty much it for me. I was like, that's all I needed.
I'm good. That and the cartoony animated Grand Moff Tarkin.
Oh God.
It was so bad. I'm like staring at the screen. I go, I know my eyes are bad, but they're not that bad. What the hell is that? I'm like, Carrie Fisher's not dead yet, but she doesn't look 18 anymore either. Oh, granted. You know, popping all your friends' prescription pills out of their medicine cabinet while you're supposed to be reading their script will do that to you.
Yeah.
You know. So we're gonna spread the word. We're gonna wrap it up here. This will be available on podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Uh, Spotify, Apple. I prefer Spotify. Yes, I have a Apple hatred. It's just me.
I don't blame you.
And on those other platforms we mentioned earlier. So I'll tag you in in the post when it clears Spotify. I usually do like a quick post thanking you for coming on and cross post it to like Facebook and Twitterverse and
Sounds
junk.
good.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll get some in there. And you've got those other shows coming up, so hopefully this will quickly start approaching where you need it to be in the scheme of things. Because we're supposed to have the low point in the middle, not like a week after launch. It's not supposed to work like that. There are a lot of books out there right now, though. So
yes, the landscape changed a lot because I took like maybe a year or two of a break after I fulfilled issue 1, and everything changed. So it's like I'm doing it for the first time all over again.
There's a bunch of people crowdfunding on this race course, and now it's like a downhill ski slope with a really, really steep ramp at the end.
Yeah.
So I want to wish you all the best. Hopefully this gets to where it needs to be, and we'll keep sharing it around. Let me know when it comes close to ending, so we can throw a bunch of posts up towards like the last couple of weeks.
Sounds good.
And go FMC. That just sounded dirty. It's not. It's fun like that. Yeah.
It works both ways.
So make sure you follow Fusebox. The link to the campaign and his YouTube page are both in the description, either down below or up above, depending on where you're watching us. So go subscribe to his YouTube page too, because there's more content about this book there, as there should be. It's his book, and it's his YouTube page. I only had one beer. What the hell?
Yeah.
It's a Friday. It's gonna happen. So, man, thanks so much for coming back on, and I really hope this can come to fruition for you, especially with those 2-for-1 specials for $20. So
I know.
I don't think those will be around too much longer. So get on.
I wouldn't think.
I try not to. It hurts my one brain cell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So until next time, we'll have another guest on next week. Who is it? I don't know yet. I'm talking to like 9 different people. It all depends what their schedule is with all the conventions going on. So we wish you all the best of luck, and go check out this book, Outlaw Nights, Part 1 and 2 of the prequel, which is way better than a other prequel we were just talking about. There's no Jar Jars in this one.